Lord, buddy. So I just want to let you know that why would Donald Trump supporters now want to be comparing Ronald Reagan or Abraham Lincoln to Donald Trump, even though the Republican Party was made and founded by, everyone knows this, the Republican Party was founded by the 16th president and the first Republican to ever hold the White House in office, Abraham Lincoln. And he was the one who also freed the slaves from slavery when there was a war, and that's why there was a war between the North and the South. The South wanted slaves, that's why there's a Confederacy. The North had enough of it, and they put an end to it. And there was a war. They fought. The North said, "We are not going to take this anymore." Abraham Lincoln and his party and everybody. So we're not going to take this anymore. No slavery allowed. We're going to put an end to this, to the Confederacy, to slavery. Robert E. Lee was also white European. He was not American. He was a European. Robert E. Lee and his men were Europeans. They were not American citizens. They were traitors to the United States because of what they did back in the 19th century, in the 1860s. 1865, I believe. A lot of us were not alive back then, so we don't know what happened, but of course not. But 19th century, in the 1860s, Abraham Lincoln was president. And listen, guys, he was the number one Republican to ever hold the White House because he made the Republican Party. He made Thanksgiving a national holiday. He also, him and his men, Abraham Lincoln defeated Robert E. Lee in the Civil War. Not on his own, but the North all came together. The South were traitors because they wanted to have African chains and slaves. That's a sin to enslave somebody and to kill and do all these things. The Bible says thou shalt not kill. And these guys were possessed by demons. You cannot tell me that mankind is evil on its own. No. Evil comes from somewhere. It's called the devil. They have the authority to possess mankind and to do things that are wicked, that is not of human nature. So guys, let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, here on YouTube, if the South had won the Civil War in the 1860s, the United States would not be the United States. It would be Confederate States of America, and everybody would be in trouble. And we would not be here today. But thanks to Abraham Lincoln and to his administration and to the North wising up and saying, enough is enough, Robert E. Lee and your men, you're not going to do this no longer. You're going to leave them alone, and we're going to take you down one way or another. And there was a civil war, and two sides of the United States fighting each other. Red and blue, evil and good and evil. One side who said no slavery allowed, we're not going to take this, and the other side who thought that Africans were inferior because they thought they were not humans because of their race, which is one of the definitions of racism with a capital R. That you cannot label somebody and call someone names because of their race and saying that they're not human. Last time I checked, they wear clothes just like everybody else. They're human beings. They're skeletons too. They are like the rest of us. Humans made in God's image. They're African Americans. Africans. They are human beings just like the rest of us. What makes everyone think that they're superior because of their race? That's like saying, my clothes look better than yours, so I'm superior and you're inferior. That doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. That's the most craziest thing I've heard in my life. Our race, we are not the superior race. White guys, women. We are not the superior race. I don't know where you get that from. You got it from Robert E. Lee. You got it from the racist side. You got it from the Confederate side. All these guys. And if you still hold a Confederate flag today, shame on you. That's a sin and a shame because you want them enslaved and you don't care. You just don't want to say it. You want to hide it. Racists don't hide things anymore now. They're crazy enough to show it. And they're crazy, alright. And I'm not being judgmental. It's the truth. Slavery should have never happened. It should have been... And Abraham Lincoln abolished it. He got rid of slavery and Confederacy. So why would anybody be holding a flag on the loser's side, on the wrong side? If you go try that in other countries today and see what happens, because y'all will not last a day with a Confederate flag and badge or whatever in other countries. Just because you have freedom to do something doesn't mean you should do it. There's right and wrong, good and evil, left and right. Donald Trump supporters, they hold Confederate flags. Donald Trump said he stood for it. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Google it. Google Donald Trump and Confederacy and see what he said.